Hey, I've been watching Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles on Fox. Best couple of last week they had a couple episodes. I really like the show, so I thought I'd go back this week and watch the original 1984 The Terminator. A few things right off the bat. Obviously, a lot has changed since 1984, and the special effects in the film have aged and dated, but that still doesn't actually take away from the film's overall enjoyment. Similar to with, I think, Jason the Argonauts, which, even though we've made leaps and bounds since the stop-motion skeletons, it's still cool to watch stop-motion skeletons. So it's the same way here. I mean, the future things are obviously modeled, and it's obvious to tell when it's Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator dealing with rotting flesh and the robot that I believe Stan Winston built. It's other than that, the action scenes still hold up relatively well, considering that the original Terminator, as most of us have forgotten, was a relatively small budgeted picture because we were used to the pyrotechnics from T2 and T3. And it clearly was, I think, a huge stepping stone for James Cameron, who I think before that had just directed the Piranha 2, The Spawning, I think it was for Roger Corman, to make a much grander sci-fi film. And of course, he went on to make a lot of wonderful films after this: Aliens, Terminator 2, True Lies, Titanic. His new project, Avatar, I think that's the name of it now, Avatar. That sounds really interesting. But, okay, I digress. Michael Biehn stars in this film, sort of as an action hero who he never was. Biehn became one of the most recognizable character actors in this role. And, he does kind of what action heroes do, and it's interesting to go back and look at Linda Hamilton's character, as we're well used to, obviously, the Sarah Connor from the TV show, and T2 was this tough and rough and tumble character, and here we meet her when she's not, and it's just an interesting character through the two films. But, it's interesting to see her start off as sort of a naive young woman, college student starting out in life, who's suddenly thrust into both within the course of a couple hours learns that her son is going to be the Messiah, and she's supposed to be the one to teach him to do all these wonderful things that messianic figures can do. And she has a lot of self-doubt. So one thing that actually does hold up amazingly well too is some of the themes, especially now that we do have computers automated taking over everything, and there's a question of what if the computers actually did take over, and that's interesting. And it plays with obviously, spoiler if you've never seen the film before, it plays with a lot of the time paradoxes, and that's always interesting. A lot of sci-fi films tend to ignore them or pretend they don't exist, and this film, the entire central conceit of the film is obviously a time paradox. Schwarzenegger. This was made earlier in Judge Schwarzenegger's career than most of us remember. I observed this, I think, 3 years old when the film came out. So I've always grown up with Arnold as the action star, and it's interesting to watch him play a villain. He doesn't do that a hell of a whole lot. Mr. Freeze, but the less we say about Mr. Freeze, the better. And it was interesting to see him bring that, I don't want to say inept acting ability, but say the limited acting ability used to full effect here, which is actually, with this in True Lies, I think James Cameron was really able to do really well with Schwarzenegger, was use the Austrian stiff accent to his full advantage. So I just really about I have to say about that. I still recommend the film. Special effects are dated, but it's cool to see, like, the models are cool, the spaceships, the airships, and futuristic tanks. Yeah, the time paradox is wonderful to think about, and Hamilton is certainly fine as the damsel in distress who, in the film and the sequel, grows into a much stronger character. It's nice to go back to visit an old friend from time to time. It's kind of what the Terminator is. So it's the Terminator, it's 1984, directed by James Cameron. If you haven't seen it yet, and I don't know how you haven't seen this movie yet, but if you haven't, go check it out. It's on DVD and all the other high-def ones.